Welcome. Thank you for coming to practice with me. So here we are, spring in Wisconsin, snow on the ground, and robins kind of all huddled up. And theme of today's practice is how do we harmonize with this seasonal change? How the heck are you going to do that? Well, things are pretty volatile now and certainly fluid. It's worth remembering that harmonizing is not unison. It's not doing the same as, and it's not doing the opposite either. So harmonizing with the season, tools we're going to use today, certainly mobility, but from a place of stability and with a bit of rhythmic to that movement, rhythm to that movement as well. So let's get started. We're going to start a little different today. On your back, on the floor. Knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor. And just taking a moment here now to settle in. And perhaps that means that you put something under the back of your head for just the few moments that we're going to be here. Before we do any mobilizing. Checking in, a brief body scan. Where's my energy now? Sometimes helps to close your eyes to get a more global picture. What the heck does that mean? Where's my energy? Well, maybe there's a bit of a warmth. Could be in hands or feet or ears. Or maybe a bit of coolness. And maybe it's your mind that's very energetic this morning. Whatever that experience might be for you, just recognizing it. But in a more global way, not necessarily focusing in on one thing. Kind of taking a elevated view, a hot air balloon ride over this experience for just another 20 seconds or so. All right, if eyes are closed, opening your eyes. If you got something behind your head, just setting that aside for now and bringing legs and feet together. And then lifting your heels with legs and feet together. And then setting them back down. How about next time, a little bit of rhythm. Exhale, lifting your heels. Inhale, letting them go back down. Perhaps you've already noticed when heels lift on that exhale, there's an engagement of abdominal muscles. Next time heels are down, pausing there. Rather than lifting heels to engage abdominal muscles, what if you could engage abdominal muscles on that exhale in order to lift heels? Exhale, release, heels come back down. All right, one more of those, giving it a try, engaging abs to lift heels. rather than lifting heels to engage abs. And setting the heels down. And then just bringing knees up over hips, more or less perpendicular. And on an exhale, drawing your lower back into the floor. And then the next exhale, taking feet up towards the ceiling. And inhale, release them back to that 90-degree bend. So like we tried on the floor, of course, when feet go up, abdominal muscles engage a bit more directly. But see if you can turn that around, creating stability in your core, engaging abdominal muscles in order to lift feet. All right, just one more of those. Engage here first, abs, to lift feet. And then bringing those feet on down. And getting your feet, your knees a little bit wide, almost as wide as your mat. And if you're just on the floor, on the carpet like me, that would be at least shoulder width apart, if not a little bit wider. And then from your feet, tipping legs and knees to the right. And again, pushing from your feet to bring legs, knees back up over and going to the other side. So back and forth, kind of a windshield wiper movement. Seeing if you can make that movement from your feet rather than your knees. And perhaps you've already noticed, as knees begin to come back up to center, the feet are moving the knees, abdominal muscles engage. Let's pause in the center. This time, rather than using knees moving to engage abdominal muscles, let's inhale and take knees to one side. Engage abdominal muscles to bring knees center, going to the other side. So beginning to detect a theme here. Rather than using movement to engage abs, using abs to create movement. Inhaling, exhaling, just doing it rhythmically a few more times. Abs create the movement. Knees follow. All right. And then just bringing arms up towards the ceiling. Reaching up, hands reaching up. And then grasping elbows right over your shoulders. And now we're going to take elbows to the side. And back up over center and over to the other side. So pretty much everybody, myself included, that makes this movement, you kind of do it from the elbows. See if you can do it from your shoulder blades. Shoulder blades engaging to lift and move arms. Just a couple more rhythmic movements here. And then pausing in the center, let's take from our abs, knees to the right, from our shoulder blades, elbows to the left. Yeah. A lot going on, isn't there? Rather than trying to focus in on one element or the other, just taking a global view, that hot air balloon view. Moving rhythmically but if possible, more from center of your body, torso and shoulders. All right, letting that trail off. Let's come on up to hands and knees and we'll head for cat pose, cow pose. Yeah, something we've done many times. What a great way to begin to mobilize your spine. Let's do this by first on an exhale, drawing your lower back up towards the ceiling. Using that movement to drop your neck and head. And then on an inhale, tipping your hips forward, hips tipping to being a little bit of lift to torso. So it's exhale, rounding cat pose. And inhale, arching up cow pose. And perhaps you've already noticed here how when you exhale into that cat pose, this movement engages abdominal muscles. Pause in here. And then when you inhale, tipping hips forward, abs release to cow pose. So no, rather than using the movement to engage your core, engage and release. Engaging your core to come to cat pose. Tipping your hips, releasing abs to come to cow pose. So a practice method to bring awareness, to cultivate mobility from the center of your body, place of stability, mobilizing, moving for sure, and doing this a bit rhythmically with the rhythm of your breathing. One more time, releasing abs to cow pose, engaging abs to cat pose, and then coming to neutral back. Hands come forward just a bit, forward of your shoulders and just a bit wider than shoulders. Curling your toes under, bringing hips up and back. Just shaking hands with downward facing dog. Couple breaths here. No special instructions yet. Coming back to hands and knees. Stepping forward, fold. Bit of a pause here. Remember cat pose, cow pose, how you could engage abdominal muscles to round down. Let's do that right here. Engaging abs first to round all the way down. And then releasing abs to half lift. Tipping your hips, releasing. Just like the cat pose, cow pose. Rhythmically engaging to round. Releasing to lift. Best you can, making these rhythmic movements from your core. All right, next time you come upside down, abs a bit engaged. From that place of stability, inhale, sweeping all the way up. Reaching up, looking up. All right. Just going to take a quick peek at my notes here. Let's get a little bit more of a rhythmic movement going here. Taking a wide stride, toes pointed out just a bit. And then rather than hands on hips, how about fingertips together, hands at heart? There's a specific reason for that. We won't go into it today, maybe next time. And then on an exhale, bending at knees, hips, and ankles, seat comes back behind you as shins go forward. And inhale, coming back up. Up and down like that a few times. With the rhythm of your breathing. Mobility for sure, but in a rhythmic way, harmonizing with the change of the seasons that may not be all that rhythmic. But again, harmony is not doing same as or doing the opposite of. All right. Next time knees are bent, let's just add some arm movements. So hands come together down in front of you, and as you come up, sweeping arms up. Whole body movements, just feeling good in this rhythmic movement. Next time you come down, bringing hands back to heart. And now, lifting the heels of both feet, noticing how that lifting of the heels, yeah, you guessed it. Perhaps you felt it, engages abdominal muscles. Releasing heels down to the floor, perhaps release a bit. So once again, we're going to try to turn that around. Rather than lifting heels to engage abs to lift heels. Release abs to lower heels. Just one more. Engaging abs to lift. Releasing to lower. Pushing down to come up. Stepping your feet together. Let's take that into traditional yoga pose, chair pose. So, same elements. We can have hands on hips. And then it's bending at knees, hips, and ankles to come into the chair pose. And on an inhale, reaching arms forward. Exhale, palms face the ceiling. Then we'll inhale, coming all the way up. And arms to the side. So just rhythmic movements for now. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, palms up. Inhale, come. One more of those. Exhale, chair. Inhale, reach. Exhale, palms up. Inhale, coming up. All right. This time, coming into chair pose. And now, you guessed it, lifting your heels. Lifting heels engages abs just a bit, sure does. With that abdominal engagement, setting your heels down lightly, heels light on the floor. Inhale, arms straight forward. Exhale, palms to the ceiling. And now from that center of engagement, inhale, coming all the way up. Let's add the twist. So it's chair pose. Rather than lifting heels all the way, just light on the heels, just enough to begin some core engagement. And then it's left hand to right knee. Right hand comes behind. A bit of a twist. Yeah. First twist, mild twist. But with heels light. From a place of stability. And then exhale, coming up forward. Inhale, arms forward. Exhale, palms up. Inhale, coming up. Going to the other side. Chair pose, knees, hips, ankles bent. Light on the heels. Bit of engagement in the core. Right hand to left knee, left hand comes behind. Bit of a twist the other way. So how about this time, coming out of this twist, rather than using your gaze to come up forward, releasing abdominal muscles on an inhale. Come forward, reaching forward. Exhale, palms up. Inhale, coming up. Okay. Let me just take another quick look here at what we're doing next. And we'll head for the floor by way of sun salutation. Just a few sun salutations of those familiar whole body movements in a rhythmic way. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, folding. Bit of a lift, inhale. Upside down, exhale. Hands and knees. And downward facing dog. Quick visit to dog pose, staying in rhythm. Exhale, coming down. And then taking your knees back behind you. Bringing your hips forward, coming into kind of a kneeling plank pose. And an awful lot of work with abs. So what if you lifted your breastbone just a bit to extend the length across those abdominal muscles? Feels kind of good. Let's push back the hands and knees. Stepping forward, forward, hold. Remember how you can use abdominal muscles to initiate movement. How about doing that right here? Exhale all the way upside down from your abs. Abs releasing, hips tipping on the inhale. Bit of a lift. Half lift pose all the way upside down again. Sweeping all the way up. And arms to the side. So coming on down one more time. Not so much talking, a little bit more rhythm. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, fold. Bit of a lift, inhale. Upside down. Exhale. Hands and knees. Next exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, hands and knees. Let's just stay right here. And then come up on knees, standing on your knees. So something we've done many times before. And that is toes pointing out behind, top of the feet on the floor. Pushing those top of those feet into the floor in order to engage abdomen or engage hamstring muscles. Got ahead of myself. Yeah, and with that engagement of hamstring muscles, abdominal muscles, a bit of tone there too. Just taking note of that and releasing everything. Everything relaxes, releases. And then one more time, top of the feet pressing down. Getting a sense that sure enough, when hamstrings work, core muscles work a bit too. All right. Come to hands, knees, stepping forward, forward, hold. And we'll just, from this all the way upside down position, sweep all the way up. And arms to the side. So, headed for a lunge sequence. So hands on hips. How about stepping back with your right foot stepping back. And then, rather than bending your front knee to come into this lunge, pushing down through the forefoot of your back foot, lifting the back heel. To bend the front knee. Drawing the back heel away from you and down to bring down. Now, so here we are again. Maybe you recognized it. That lifting that back heel, in some sense, engages abdominal muscles. And so does the drawing back and down of the heel. It engages abs a bit as well. Next time you're in that forward position, pausing there, bringing hands down. And now descending that back heel towards that wall behind you and down to the floor. So back foot, heel reaching back and down. Back foot, toes pressing down, forefoot pressing down a bit as well. And now inhale, arms forward. Exhale, palms up. Inhale, reaching up. Couple breaths here. So back foot, back leg, pretty much engaged. About the front leg, front foot. How about getting light on the heel of that front foot? Not necessarily lifting it, just getting light. And then out of that grounding in the front foot, forefoot. Drawing hip back just a bit. Okay, let's not overdo it. Hands to heart. Inclining your weight, your torso forward, pouring your way forward to lift the back foot and come on up. And then just checking in. One side feel a little bit more steady, stable, grounded. The other side a little lighter, longer. Let's take advantage of that grounded side. So that would have been the forward foot side from the lunge pose. Pouring your weight into that side. Stepping your lighter side over. Crossing feet, toes on the floor. So this is right over left, so it's right arm under left. And on an exhale, folding, coming on forward. So perhaps you noticed that when we did that bit of a fold, and in the fold, abdominal muscles are working a bit. Let's come back up. And this time from your abdominal muscles, folding forward. Abdominal core muscles engage to bring your elbows down. Core muscles stay active as you inhale and sweep up. Sweeping up out of the core. All right, lunge sequence on the other side. So now it's stepping back with the other foot. And from that back foot, in order to create some stability, movement from stability, mobility from stability, harmonizing in a sense. Mobile for sure, changeable for sure, just like the season, but from a place of stability. Engaging your back foot, forefoot pressing down, back foot, heel reaching back and down. Bring some of that engagement. Let's hold the next bending position. And then this time a little different. Lifting the front of your pelvis, hip crests up towards the ceiling. Out of that lift, descending the back heel down. Now it's reaching forward. Now it's balanced to the ceiling. And then inhale, arms up. Not so much time here on this side. Bringing hands to heart. Inclining your torso to pour weight forward. Pouring weight forward to bring back foot up. Eagle pose on the other side. Crossing what was before the behind your leg over what was a minute ago the front leg, bent leg. And then it's For me, it's left over right. So now it's arm, left arm, under right. Rather than doing this twice this time, in order to fold from your center, from your core, engaging on an exhale, fold. Keeping that engagement to move from a place of stability as you inhale and sweep up all the way up. Yeah, sometimes feels like that eagle is just going to take off. All right. Let's see. Checking my notes, making sure we're headed in the right direction. Taking a wide stride. Right toes turn in, left toes turn out. Exhale, bending the front knee. Inhale, straightening. Yeah, so just mobilizing for a few rhythmic movements here in this coronal plane. Whereas a minute ago in that lunge pose, we were front to back, sagittal plane. Yeah. Part of the whole body engagement idea. Next time front knee is bent, pausing there. And then on an exhale, tipping at your hips. Rather than forearm to thigh, how about hand to shin just below your knee? Headed for triangle pose here. It would help to have some stability, a place to make that movement from. So the front foot, bent knee foot, getting light on the heel, maybe even lifting the heel off the floor just a bit. Feel how that engages this bent leg hamstring muscle, keeping that engagement in the hamstring as you lower the heel, touching it down. And now, drawing hips out away from that light in front heel in order to straighten the front leg. And taking free arm, upper arm up towards the ceiling. So front leg pretty much engaged. Hamstring working a bit. Front foot heel a bit light. Front foot leg not quite straight, pretty much all the way straight. Let's employ the back leg by rotating that back leg forward towards the front foot. And extending out through the back foot heel down to the floor. Yeah, heel reaching down. All right. Let's not overdo it. Hand coming down. Front knee bending, pushing down to come up. Going to the other side. So not so much guidance on this side. Left foot turns in, right foot turns out. Exhale, bending. Next exhale, tipping hand to shin. So remember how you got some stability, some core involvement. Last time was by lifting the heel. See if this time you can do it the other way around. Rather than lifting your heel to perhaps engage hamstring and core, how about engaging hamstring and core to lighten that front heel? Keeping that core engagement as you draw hips out of the front foot toes. Hips drawing back to begin to straighten the front knee. Once that front leg comes into kind of a stretch, a kind of a tone, perhaps not all the way straight, free arm up towards the ceiling. And then back leg engagement. Remember how we did that? It rotates forward. And the back foot heel reaches down to the floor. Oh, there you go. Yeah. And exhale, bringing that upper arm down. Bending your front knee. Pushing down to come up. Stepping your feet together. All right. Just checking in here to see how much time we really have left in what I had scheduled to do. Let's head for the floor by way of some sun salutations. Let's do 2 of them. And we'll stay down there at the end of the second one, but again, just making this a more of a rhythmic movement. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, folding. Beautiful lift, inhale. Upside down. Exhale. Hands and knees. And downward facing dog. Next. Exhale, coming to hands and knees. Bringing your knees back a bit. We'll either go to kneeling plank or full plank. Pausing for a moment, maybe lowering for just a bit. And in a rhythm, coming right back up. Coming to hands and knees. Stepping forward, hold. Bit of a lift, inhale. Upside down, exhale. Sweeping all the way up. Yeah, so sun salutations, there's quite a bit of variability in how they can be performed. So not worrying so much about the sequence or the exact timing this time. Let's just go through this next one together in silence. And we'll stay down on the floor once everyone's had time to consolidate there. All right, taking just a moment here for everyone to find hands and knees. And let's lower ourselves down, all the way down to the floor, in a prone position. Hands mostly back by your rib cage so that forearms are more or less perpendicular. And then let's point our toes straight out behind. Point your toes straight out behind. Extending out through your toenails of the little toes. Toenails of the little toes extending out. Brings a little bit of engagement to, yeah, you guessed it. Perhaps you experienced it, core muscles. And let's flip that around a little bit. And now bringing legs together, heels together. And heels lightly pushing into each other. Engaging a little bit further. Hamstrings and core muscles. From that engagement now, drawing back on your hands to come forward in a little bit of a lift. From that place of stability, and exhale coming down. Let's do a couple of rhythmic movements here. It's inhale coming up, exhale releasing down. But all the time, engaged by heels lightly pressing together. So it's inhale coming up, exhale coming down. One more time up and down. Hands drawn back. There you go. All right. And then coming down. Just a bit of a rest. stacking your hands on top, one on top of another, resting your forehead for just a moment. And then pushing up, coming up to hands, knees. Coming seated for a moment. And then coming onto your back. Quite done with back bends yet. Good old bridge pose. We did an awful lot to engage abdominal muscles. Core muscles, it would be kind of nice to do something to lengthen them, release them. I'll do that by way of bridge pose. But we're going to lengthen those muscles while they're lightly engaged. So remember way back where we started. Lifted our heels and felt a light engagement in the abdominal muscles. Let's do that right here. And then heels came down, abs released. So once again, heels lifting, abs engaged. Heels lowering, abs release. You know the drill. Rather than moving your heels to engage your abs lightly engage your abs to lift your heels. Then slowly release your abs to lower your heels. Yeah. Just getting ready for bridge pose with a light engagement in the abdominal muscles. So let's lightly engage abs to lift heels. Keeping that engagement as you lower your heels down. Keeping that engagement as you roll your hips, roll your spine up, one segment at a time. Coming up, 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 up. So there's a little bit of a tug, a bit of a stretch across the front of your body. And keeping that engagement in that core as you go back down. So core muscles engage as we ask them to get just a little bit longer. Let's try that one more time. Light engagement of the abs to tip your hips, bringing lower back into the floor. Light engagement of the abs as you roll your hips and your spine up towards the ceiling. Pausing here, let's experiment. How about if we lifted our heels right here? Heels lifting. Taking hips up just a little bit higher. And now with hips just that high, descending your heels down. Heels back down, hips stay high. Big, full, deep inhale. And exhale, rolling down one segment at a time. Abs still engaged. Let's roll to one side. Come up on knees, standing on knees. So a little bit more release for the front here by way of camel pose. So perhaps you've noticed my toes are pointing out straight behind. We're gonna push the top of your feet down into the floor, into your mat. To lightly engage abdominal muscles. Because we want some stability in this camel pose. And then it's bringing your fist to your lower back. Rather than taking hips forward, it's taking breastbone up, up, gazing up, looking up. Full deep inhale. Right across those abs. Couple more breaths here. Feels good to release. And then coming on down. Taking your hands down, taking your seat back, coming to hands and knees for just a moment, and then coming seated. So something a little bit different, and that is going to be feet about shoulder width apart and hands on your quads. Hands on your quads, kind of down here by the hip crease. And underneath those hands, see if you can release hip flexor muscles, quads. Quads stay relaxed, released. Sometimes helps to bring heels to the floor, toes up. There you go, releasing those quads. Quads releasing. And then bringing arms forward. And we'll move arms, torso twisting from side to side. Just like we practiced so many times already this morning. This particular movement pretty much holistically engages all of your core muscles, even the oblique muscles. Let's pause for a moment with arms forward. And now rather than using arm movement to engage core, how about engaging your core to move your arms? Engaging your core to come back up. Yeah. Moving slowly, rhythmically. Whether you exhale or inhale on a particular movement, that's so important. Just one more each way. All right. Grabbing in behind your thighs, leaning back just a little bit more. Bringing your legs up. Good old boat pose. So, something a little different in boat pose. Boat's going to ride the waves. So by that I mean, on an inhale, we're going to let our torso come back, our legs come out just a bit. And on an exhale, bring everything back up together. So up and down. Using what you already know about how core muscles can induce movement rather than moving to come back up, engaging core muscles and releasing core muscles. That'd be a release on the inhale, wouldn't it? And then engagement on the exhale. Just one more. And then come on. Let's head for a twisting pose, Ardha Matsyendrasana, traditional yoga pose, sometimes called half fish twist. I like to begin this whole sequence with engaging deep hip muscles. And you guessed it, core muscles have a role to play too. So hands on the outside of your knees, knees together, feet together. Taking your knees away from each other, pushing into your hands, hands resisting. As you come wide, hands pushing in, knees resisting as you come back together. Open and closing like that. Knees moving. Perhaps you've already felt core muscles. Yeah, here we go again. We're going to turn that around. So core muscles engaging to move knees away from each other. Core muscles engaging once again to bring these back together. Resisting. All right. Let's take one leg out straight forward. How about the left leg? And we'll just do one out to the side. Back in. And then we'll take that foot over. So it's right foot over left. And switching hands, grabbing the right knee with the left hand. Right hand comes behind. Remember what we just did? Doing the same thing here. Knee moving out to the side, but not by knee moving, by abdominal muscles engaging to push the knee into the hand. Keeping those abs engaged as you twist towards that upright knee. Keeping abdominal muscles engaged just for a couple breaths. So from that core place of stability, moving out is mobility. Rather than just twisting to come out. How about if you released your core muscles first and then let yourself unwind? All right. Bring feet together, knees together again. And once again, rather than moving knees to engage core, using core first, core engaging in order to draw knees away from each other. As knees come farther away from each other. One knee that was just crossed over. Yeah, a little bit stronger. All right, let's do the other side. So it's out to the side now with the left knee. Hand pushing knee, knee resisting to come in. There's those core muscles. Knee foot crossing over. Switching hands. Left hand comes behind. A little bit of engagement in the abs as you turn into that twist, turn into the upright knee. And once again, releasing any engagement in your abdominal muscles in order to unwind, release, and come out. Okay. Coming onto your back. You know what? Let's not do that. I just had an inspiration here. Let's come back to hands and knees one last time. And we'll add one more twist. So that's going to be kneeling lunge twist. So from hands and knees, bringing right foot forward between your hands. And a little bit farther forward than hands down from shoulders. And then coming on. And then exhale, bending your front knee to come forward. Next, exhale, bringing left hand to right knee. Right hand comes behind. A little bit of a twist, a mild twist, not the deepest twist. Now, for the time being, even all of that core engagement, all of that guidance behind. Next, exhale, just coming on forward, coming to hands and knees. We'll go to the other side. Mild twist on this side. No special instructions. It's just right hand to left knee, left hand comes behind. Kind of a free and easy twist. Not the deepest twist ever. Exhale, releasing on out. And then heading for the floor. We'll do one last twist, supine twist, but once again, starting to taper off from the effort. Leave the guidance behind. Just coming onto your back, tucking your knees in, rolling up onto one side. Like you were going to sleep on your left side, and then opening your torso back towards the ceiling. So beginning to let go of a lot of the instruction, a lot of the guidance. Did an awful lot of work with the core muscles. Perhaps this mild opening brings a little bit of release across those areas that we worked so hard. Exhale, draw that arm on over, and then we'll just go to the other side. You can just roll over. I'm going to switch ends so that I'm not looking away from the screen. So same thing on this side. Rolling up like you were going to sleep on your side, and then opening up a couple of breaths here. Yeah. So kind of a different way to end, rather than a lot of engagement, perhaps a little bit more release and acceptance. In a sense, harmonizing, not pushing against, not striving against, not trying to counteract. All right, next, exhale, bringing that arm on over, coming onto your back, either with knees bent or soles of the feet on the floor, whichever is more comfortable for you right now. Remember how we started. Come in full circle, closing the loop. Where's your energy now? Not that you should feel something special or different. But in a global sense, rather than a focused sense. Awareness of whole body, what sensations there may be. Like taking that hot air balloon ride. Opening awareness, expanding awareness. Just another breath or two here. Slowly descending the hot air balloon. Gradually opening your eyes. And rolling to one side. Coming seated. Legs were straight out. They had to bend a bit first. And then coming out. Wait for a moment, everyone to come seated. And then we'll take a collective inhale, sweeping arms up. Rhythmically exhale, coming on down. Thank you for practicing with me.